The last goodbye, the sky was gray. A cold wind moved slowly through the trees. John stood alone in front of the grave. His hands were in his coat pockets. His eyes were red, not from the cold, but from the pain that still lived inside him. It had been 1 year since Sarah died. Sarah was not just his wife. She was a scientist, a pilot, and the love of his life. She was brave, she was smart, and she was everything to him. John looked at the gravestone. Her name was written clearly, Sarah Lane 1989-2124, forever in the stars. He placed a small white flower on the ground. He bent down slowly and whispered, "I miss you." A soft wind passed behind him. The leaves rustled gently. John closed his eyes. He remembered her laugh, her smile, the way she used to touch his hand when he was worried. The memory felt warm and then cold. Because she was gone. They told him she died in a space explosion, a mission gone wrong. No body was found, but the ship was destroyed near the edge of Mars. The report was clear. No survivors. He waited for months, hoping, praying, but in the end, they gave him this grave, an empty grave. A place to say goodbye. John took a deep breath. "I guess this is it," he said softly. "I have to let you go." He stood up, gave one last look to the grave, and turned around. And then, a hand touched his shoulder. John froze. His heart stopped. He didn't move for a second. The wind had stopped. The air felt heavy. He slowly turned his head. A woman stood behind him. Her face was half covered by a hood, but her eyes were the same. The same deep green eyes he used to look into every night. The same eyes that knew his soul. "Sarah?" he whispered. She looked at him, silent, still. It felt like time had stopped. He stepped back, confused, afraid. "No, you can't be." She pulled the hood down. It was her. Same face, same eyes, same small scar on her right cheek from the accident when they first met. But something was different. Her skin looked pale. Her movements were slow, careful, like she was not used to walking. "John," she said. Her voice. It broke him. He reached out, but then pulled his hand back. "Is this real? Are you real?" Tears were in her eyes. "They lied to you," she said quietly. "What? What do you mean?" he asked. She looked around, nervous. "We don't have much time. They're watching." Who is watching?" She shook her head. "I'll explain, but not here." John's mind was spinning. "You died. The ship exploded. I saw the news. I buried you." "I didn't die," she said. "I was taken." John stepped back again. "Taken? By who?" Sarah didn't answer. She simply turned and started walking. "Come with me," she said. John looked back at the grave. He was standing in front of it just seconds ago, saying goodbye. But now she was here, alive or something like her. "Sarah!" He called. She stopped. "If this is some kind of trick," he said, "it's not funny." She turned slowly. Her eyes were serious. "I'm not a ghost, John. I'm real. And I came back because you need to know the truth." He looked into her eyes again. There was pain there, and fear. But there was also love. The love he remembered. John took a deep breath. And then he followed her. As they walked into the trees, the wind picked up again. The grave was left behind, quiet and still. Just like before. But something had changed. Something big. And in the sky above, far away, a small black shape moved across the clouds. Watching. She should be dead. John followed her through the forest. The cold wind brushed against his face, but he didn't feel it. His mind was racing. He had just said goodbye at her grave. Now he was walking behind her, the woman who died a year ago. The woman he loved. But something was wrong. She didn't walk like before. Her steps were slow, careful, like she was learning to walk again. And her skin, it looked strange in the moonlight. Almost too smooth, too perfect. John wanted to speak, to ask questions. But silence held him tight. After 10 minutes of walking, they reached an old cabin deep in the woods. Sarah opened the door slowly and stepped inside. John followed, unsure of everything. The inside was dark, quiet. A small light blinked from a machine on the table. Strange symbols were drawn on the walls, symbols John had never seen before. Sarah sat down. Her body trembled. John couldn't wait anymore. "Tell me what's going on," he said. "You died, Sarah. I saw the report. The explosion. No survivors. I buried you." She looked up. Her eyes were tired, filled with something he didn't understand. "I should be dead," she said quietly. "But I'm not." She touched her wrist and pulled back the sleeve. John stepped closer and froze. Her veins were glowing. A soft blue light moved slowly under her skin, like liquid light. What is that?" he whispered. "They changed me," she said. "I don't know how. I don't know why." John sat down across from her. "Start from the beginning, please." Sarah closed her eyes and took a deep breath. "The mission was normal," she said. "We were near Mars. Suddenly, our ship lost control. Something pulled us in, like gravity, but not from a planet." She paused, remembering. It wasn't an accident. It was a trap. "Who set the trap?" John asked. "I don't know," she replied. "I woke up in a white room, no windows, no doors. Just machines and voices." Voices? They weren't speaking English, not any language I know. But I could still understand them, somehow. They were inside my head. John felt cold. They kept me there. I don't know how long. Time didn't feel normal. I was floating, sleeping, waking. They were doing things to me. Testing, changing. Her hands were shaking. I saw others too. Some human, some not. John leaned forward. Aliens? Sarah didn't answer directly. They weren't like us. But they were intelligent, calm, like scientists. She looked at her glowing arm. They put something inside me, some kind of technology. It's alive. John couldn't believe what he was hearing. But she was right in front of him, alive, changed. "How did you escape?" he asked. Sarah looked toward the window. "I didn't escape. They let me go." "Why?" She shook her head. "I think I'm part of their experiment. I think they want to see what happens next." Outside, the wind howled louder. The trees moved like shadows. "Someone followed me," Sarah said suddenly. "They're watching." "Who?" "Not the aliens," she said. "Humans. The ones who knew I was taken. The ones who lied to you." "You mean the government?" She nodded. "Project Lazarus. That's what they called it." John's face turned pale. "I've heard of that. Rumors. Secret experiments. Human testing with alien tech. It's real," she said. "And I was part of it." John stood up and started pacing. "Why didn't they tell me? Why fake your death?" "They couldn't risk the truth. If people knew we made contact. If they knew what we were doing with alien technology. She stopped. Her face changed. "John, we're not alone. We never were." John stared at her, his heart pounding. "You came back for me," he said. "I came back for the truth," she replied. "And maybe for you too." Suddenly, a soft beep came from the machine on the table. Sarah's eyes widened. "They found us." John ran to the window. A red light blinked in the distance. A drone, silent, small, and deadly. "They're coming," Sarah said. John looked at her. "Then let's run." She hesitated. "Sarah?" She touched her temple. "There's something else. Something I haven't told you." "What is it?" "I think I'm changing." "What do you mean?" She looked at him, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "I'm not fully human anymore." John stared at her. And the drone outside moved closer. The truth uncovered. It started with a noise. A high-pitched hum. Not from outside, from inside Sarah's head. She fell to her knees, her hands gripping the floor, eyes shut tight. "Make it stop," she cried. John rushed to her side. "Sarah, what is it?" "The signal," she whispered. "They're activating it." Her glowing veins pulsed brighter. Blue light under her skin, like a warning. Then, just as suddenly as it came, the sound stopped. Sarah opened her eyes. Her face was pale, but calm. "They're close," she said softly. "We don't have much time." John helped her stand. "We need answers, real ones. You said the name, Project Lazarus." She nodded. "There's proof. But it's not on any network, not online, not in any system." "Then where?" Sarah looked at him. "You still have my old box?" she asked. "The one I left behind before the mission?" John remembered. The small metal box she told him never to open. It was still in his attic. 1 hour later, they were back at John's home. The drone was gone. For now, the attic was dusty and dark. John opened a wooden chest and pulled out the metal box. It was locked with a fingerprint scanner. Sarah touched it. Click. Open. Inside were papers. A small drive. A photo of Sarah standing next to a tall man with silver hair. On the back, Dr. Voss, Lazarus lead scientist. John plugged the drive into an old offline laptop. A black screen appeared. Then a logo. Lazarus Division, access restricted. Sarah typed a code. Files opened. John read out loud. Lazarus Phase 4, Subject S-Lane. Status compatible. Nano-integration, 63% successful. Psychological bond test, incomplete. Risk level, high. His hands began to shake. "They experimented on you," he said. "They didn't just take you, they used you." Sarah sat silently, her eyes staring at the screen. John scrolled further. Subject shows signs of psychic feedback. Possible. Alien origin of implant. Tech unknown to human science. Potential link to non-human structure discovered near Phobos moon. Do not allow emotional interference. Kill order active if she escapes. He stopped reading. "They plan to kill you if you ever came back," he said in a cold voice. Sarah nodded slowly. "I knew," she whispered, "but I had to return anyway." John stood up and began pacing. "This is bigger than we thought. They found something on Mars. Something alien. And they used it on you." "Not just me," she said. "There were others. Some didn't survive. Some became something else." She paused. "One of them is still out there." John turned sharply. "What do you mean?" "I saw him in my dreams, or visions, I don't know anymore. He's like me, but broken, twisted." She held her head again. "He's connected to the signal." Before John could speak, the laptop screen changed. New transmission received. From a hidden source. A voice played. Robotic but human underneath. "If you're hearing this, Sarah, you've already seen the truth. They'll come for you, for both of you. But you're not the same anymore. They don't control you now, but the signal will try. Come to Outpost Eco. It's still safe. Dr. Voss is alive. He knows how to stop it." Then static. The screen went dark. Silence. John looked at her. "Outpost Echo? That's a research base in the desert. It was shut down years ago." Sarah stood up. "That's where it began. That's where it must end. But how do we get there?" "They'll track US. We don't go by road," she said. He raised an eyebrow. "Then how?" She opened her hand. In her palm was a small black object, smooth, glowing with faint blue lines. It floated slightly above her skin. "What is that?" "A gift," she said, "from them." The object blinked once, then slowly unfolded into a hologram, a map, a path glowing red. "To Echo," she said. Back in a secret facility. Men in black suits watched a large screen. "She's activated the tech," one said. "She accessed the files," said another. "What now?" The leader smiled. "We let her go to Echo. She'd lead us to the source." He leaned forward, his voice cold. "And if she loses control, we burn everything." The chase begins. Dust exploded under their feet. The wind screamed across the desert road as John's old hover truck raced past dead bushes and broken signs. Sarah sat beside him, staring straight ahead. Her hands were cold, her breath was slow. But inside her mind, something was waking up. John checked the rear screen. They're following. Far behind them, two black vehicles floated low above the sand, moving fast. Government chasers. How long? Sarah asked. 10 minutes, maybe less. She closed her eyes. She could feel them, not just the sound of engines, but the heat of minds. Cold, sharp thoughts. Focused only on capture. They won't stop, she said. Not until I'm gone, or dead. John pressed harder on the controls. The truck shook as it hit a broken piece of road. "We'll make it to Echo," he said. "That signal you got, we trust it?" Sarah looked at him. "I don't know, but it felt familiar. Hours earlier. They had left at night, no headlights. Just the stars to guide them." Sarah used the strange alien map, the one that floated in her hand, to find back roads, hidden paths, places no satellite watched. John asked no questions. He just drove. But in his mind, he knew, this was no longer just about Sarah. This was bigger. Something was coming. Something not human. And Sarah, she was changing. Back to now. The truck turned sharply onto a hidden dirt trail. They passed. A rusted sign. Outpost Echo, property of the United Earth Science Division. Entry forbidden. "This is it," Sarah said. "Looks abandoned." John muttered. The old research base was buried under sand and silence. Towers half broken. Solar panels cracked. Doors sealed shut. But Sarah stepped out of the truck and walked toward the wall. "It's not dead," she said. "It's sleeping." She raised her hand. The veins in her arm lit up, blue, pulsing. A sound came from the wall. A hum. The locked gate clicked, then opened. John stared. "You're like a key," he whispered. "No," she said. "I'm the door." Inside Echo, the place smelled like dust and metal. Screens blinked to life as Sarah passed by. Machines long dead came alive again. The lights didn't come from wires, they came from her. They reached a control room. And on the wall, a large photo, Dr. Vos and a team of scientists. And Sarah, standing beside him, smiling. John looked at her. "You were happy here?" Sarah nodded. "Before I knew what they were doing." Suddenly, an alarm, a red light flashed. On the screen, "Incoming vehicles, unauthorized access." "They're here," John said. "Too soon," Sarah whispered. "They're faster than before." John grabbed a metal rod from the wall, the closest thing to a weapon. Sarah looked down at her hands. "I can't run anymore," she said. "It's time to fight back." "Fight how?" "I don't know yet," she said. "But it's inside me. Outside the base." Black vehicles stopped. Armed agents jumped out. One of them, a tall woman with silver glasses, gave orders. Her voice was cold. "Take her alive if you can. If not, activate kill code." Another agent asked, "What if she triggers the device?" The woman smiled. "Then we disappear this place from the map." Back inside, Sarah touched a console. A secret panel opened. Inside, a folder, a data chip, and a video file labeled, "To Sarah, if you ever return." She clicked it. Dr. Voss appeared on screen. Older, tired. "Sarah, if you ever return." "Shira, if you ever return." She clicked it. Dr. Voss appeared on screen. Older, tired. "Sarah, if you're seeing this, it means you escaped. I'm sorry. I never wanted this for you. But we needed to understand." The signal. The alien tech wasn't just power, it was memory. Living memory. You weren't just given something. You were merged with something, someone. Sarah looked confused. What does he mean, someone? The being we found near Mars, it didn't die. It became part of you. The screen went black dot and then a whisper, but not from the video, from inside her mind. You're not alone. Outside, footsteps. The agents reached the main door. Guns ready. Inside, John gripped the metal rod tightly. Sarah stood still. Her body glowing softly. John whispered, "We're not ready." Sarah replied, "They are less ready." A deep humming sound started around her. The lights turned blue. Metal shook. Machines moved. John took a step back. "Sarah." "What's happening?" She looked at him. "I'm remembering who I am." The alien within Sarah was not sleeping. She was floating, but not in water, not in air. She was deep inside her own mind. Around her, stars, voices, memories that weren't hers. A dark figure stood in front of her, tall, silver-eyed, not human. "You are the vessel," it whispered, "but you are still afraid." Sarah opened her mouth, but no sound came out. The stars blinked. "He is coming," the voice said. "The other one. The broken one. He remembers you." Suddenly, a sharp pain. Sarah woke up screaming. John ran to her. "Sarah." "What happened?" She was shaking, her arms glowing, her eyes bright like fire. "He's awake now," she said. "The other hybrid. The one from the lab." John's face turned pale. "How do you know?" "I saw him," she whispered. "In my mind. He's close." Flashback, a memory. Not hers. Steel walls, needles. A boy, maybe 20, crying as the machines changed his body. The same tech. The same light. But his mind broke. They called him Subject 9. He begged for it to stop. He screamed her name. Back to. Now in the outpost's lower level, Sarah moved through the halls like she'd lived there forever. Her memories were returning, not just hers, but someone else's, a fusion of minds. She stopped in front of a mirror. Her reflection blinked. But she didn't. Behind her eyes, something ancient stared back. Meanwhile, the agents were inside. Room by room, they searched. They found no signs of life. Just cold tech and strange energy readings. The leader, the silver-glassed woman, touched her earpiece. "She's not hiding," she said. "She's transforming." A soldier replied, "Ma'am, we found something." She turned a corner and froze. The wall was covered in alien markings, but they weren't just painted. They were growing alive. Back in the control room, Sarah stood still. "Something inside me is waking up," she said. John asked, "Can you control it?" "I don't know," she replied. "It's not a power. It's a presence, a being." John swallowed hard. "Do you want it to wake up?" Sarah looked at him, then away. "I don't think I have a choice." The floor VIBR8 to ED from the far hallway. A scream, not human. Not animal. Something in between. John grabbed the metal rod again. "What was that?" Sarah closed her eyes. "It's him," she whispered. "Subject 9. They brought him here." Hallway, minutes later, one of the agents was running. Blood on his face. Terror in his eyes. He turned a corner, and something grabbed him. A flash of sharp claws. Glowing eyes, then silence. The creature entered the main chamber. Not fully alien, not fully human. Bones bent the wrong way. His skin pulsed with light. And scars, but his face. His face still remembered her. He growled, "Sarah." John stepped in front of her. Sarah placed a hand on his shoulder. "No, let me." She walked forward slowly. No fear in her steps. "You were my friend," she said gently. "They hurt you. They made you this." He screamed, a sound filled with pain and rage. "You left me." He roared, "You escaped. I died in there." Sarah's voice cracked. "I didn't know." "I remember everything," he said. "The tests, the voices, the cold, the lies." He stepped closer. "I don't want revenge," he said. I want release. Sarah's hand glowed brighter. Then let me help you, she said. We can end it. But behind the creature, soldiers were aiming weapons. John shouted, No, don't shoot. Too late. Bullets flew. The creature roared. Chaos. The walls shook. Sarah screamed, Stop. Her body exploded with light, a blue pulse that pushed everything back. John hit the wall. The soldiers fell. The creature collapsed. Silence. Smoke. Then Sarah stepped forward and touched the creature's head. A soft light passed between them. His face relaxed. His voice, now just a whisper, said, Thank you for remembering me. And then he was gone. Later the outpost was burning. The survivors escaped. Sarah and John sat near the old truck, watching the smoke rise. John looked at her. You saved him. I set him free, she said. But there will be more. John asked, Are you still you? Sarah didn't answer. Instead, she looked up at the stars. I think, she said slowly, I'm becoming U.S. The awakening. The stars were speaking, not with words, but with soundless pulses. Sarah could feel them now, inside her bones, inside her blood. Each night, the pull grew stronger. Each night, the sky whispered the same thing. It's time to return. 1 week later, they were deep in the desert now. Farther than any road, past every map, John's truck wheezed across the dry sand. The engine was dying. The land was silent. Sarah sat quietly. Her eyes were half glowing, even in daylight. She hadn't eaten in days. She didn't need to anymore. John finally broke the silence. We've been driving for hours. Are you sure? It's here? Sarah nodded. It's not on the surface. It's under us. John looked around. Just empty land. No signs, no buildings. Nothing. Until the ground shook. A low hum, deep and ancient, came from beneath the earth. Sarah stepped out of the truck. She raised her hand. Her skin lit up with alien patterns, symbols, dancing across her arms. She placed her hand on the ground. A blue light shot out in a perfect circle. The sand shifted, and the desert opened. Beneath the earth, the entrance led to a tunnel, smooth, dark, not made by human hands. It pulsed softly with blue light, reacting to Sarah's presence. John followed close, his heart racing. Is this alien? He asked. Sarah whispered, No, this is mine. They entered a chamber, vast, echoing. At the center, a massive ship. Buried for what looked like centuries. Its surface was smooth like glass, but alive. Lines moved across it like water. Sarah stepped forward. The ship responded. It lit up like it had been waiting. You're connected to it, John said. No, she replied. I was built for it. She touched the ship. Memories rushed through her, not just hers, but ancient ones. Galaxies spinning. Civilizations rising and falling. Voices made of light. She saw herself, not as Sarah the human, but as Sarah the hybrid, chosen to carry the last message of a dying race. Suddenly the ship spoke. Not out loud, but into her mind. Protocol Alpha 9. Awakening begins. Host confirmed. Mission restart possible. Warning, contamination detected. Human military approaching. Sarah's eyes widened. They found us. Above the ground, black aircrafts appeared on the horizon. Silent, deadly. Inside, the silver glasses agent from before stared at the screens. We've located the craft, she said. Prepare the strike. A soldier looked nervous. Ma'am, are we sure we should destroy it? That's alien tech. Possibly intelligent, she smiled coldly. And that's exactly why it can't be allowed to wake up. Inside the ship, Sarah walked deeper into the glowing vessel. The walls shifted as she moved, like it recognized her as its pilot. John called out, Sarah, what are you doing? She stopped at a central platform. I can feel everything, she said softly. The stars, the systems, the others. John stepped forward. Others? Sarah nodded. More ships, more hybrids, scattered across space, some lost, some waiting like this one. Then her voice changed, distant, layered, almost like two people speaking at once. They called it the seed ship, meant to carry life, knowledge, memory. But it never launched. John reached for her. Come back. You're still Sarah, right? She looked at him and smiled. Just for a moment, the same old smile. I'm still me, she said. But now I'm more. Outside missiles locked in. Countdown, 30 seconds. Inside the ship's systems lit up fully. A control panel rose from the floor. Sarah placed her hands on it. Suddenly, she gasped. A vision flashed. Earth, burning. Cities falling from the sky. A signal, spreading like a virus. She pulled her hands away. No. This isn't just a ship, she said. It's a warning system. John looked at her. A warning for what? Sarah turned to him. The real enemy hasn't come yet. 15 seconds. The agents above were ready. The strike was set. Sarah took a deep breath. I can fly this ship. I can leave. I can find the others. I can stop what's coming. John looked at her, eyes full of fear, and something else. Pride. Then go, he said. Save us. 3, 2, 1. The missiles fired. Boom. But the explosion never touched the ship. A pulse of light, like a protective shield, blasted outward. The aircrafts above spun out of control. In the sky, the earth cracked open with energy. The ship rose. Dust and rocks flew in all directions as the alien vessel lifted into the sky, glowing like a star. John watched from below. And for 1 second, he heard her voice, not with his ears, but in his heart. I'm not leaving you. I'm leading them away. I'll come back, I promise. She never came back. He visited her grave again. Not because he believed she was dead, but because it was the only place that still remembered her. The wind was quiet that morning. The world had moved on. But John hadn't. He placed the same white flower on the same cold stone. Her name was still carved there. Sarah Lane 198921-24 forever in the stars. He sat beside the grave, looking up at the sky. I kept waiting, he whispered, for a sign, a sound, anything. But the stars stayed silent. 1 year later, governments denied everything. There was no alien ship, they said. No hybrid girl. No Project Lazarus. Just a meteor storm in the desert, a glitch in the satellites. John knew better. He had been there. He saw her rise into the sky, wrapped in light, carrying something ancient, something powerful. Carrying hope. But hope fades when there's silence. And Sarah had been silent for 1 year. Flashback. The night she left, he remembered her last words, not spoken, but felt. I'll come back. I promise. And then the sky had swallowed her. Present day, John's house was quiet now. The walls still held memories, photos of Sarah, the box of Lazarus files, the alien map that no longer worked. He spent nights staring at stars. Some nights, he heard her voice, soft, like wind in the trees. But maybe that was just grief. He wasn't sure anymore, until the message came. At exactly 3:33 a.m., the old laptop beeped. The screen turned blue. A symbol appeared, one he hadn't seen in months. The mark of the seed ship. A message blinked. Transmission received. Deep space link active. John sat up straight, heart pounding. He clicked. Static. Then a voice. Sarah, if you're hearing this, I'm far away. Farther than I thought possible. The ship was not alone. Others were waiting. Some asleep, some unaffected. I've seen what's coming, John. Earth was the beginning, not the target. I had to lead them away. I had to make them chase me. Her voice cracked. I don't know if I can come back. Not as I was. Maybe not ever. A pause. But I remember you. Every second. Every breath. You kept me human. Tell them. The stars are not empty. And tell them I tried. The message ended. John sat in silence. Outside, the wind changed. That night, the stars flickered. One of them moved, not like a satellite, not like a ship dock, just a blink. Then gone. But John smiled. She kept her promise, he said, not because she returned, but because she left to protect them all. Epilogue. Years passed. Sarah Lane was erased from every record. Project Lazarus was buried forever. But some say strange. Signals still reach Earth, and sometimes, on the darkest nights, the sky hums softly, like a voice calling home. A legend remains, the woman who touched the stars and never looked back. Or maybe she's still out there, watching,